I started deciding, okay, all their prayers are not like my prayers. All their prayers are usually related to character, family, legacy. That's what they're really focusing on in this latter half of their life. What if I just start focusing on that today? Because if I was in a small group with young people, when I am in small groups with young people, it's very common prayers to what I'm praying about. But when I'm with these guys, it's more about like things that matter 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years down the road. I was like, what if I just adopt the mindset that the things that are really, really important right now are not that important in 20, 30 years, 40 years from now? At the time, I wouldn't even know. You know how when you go to high school, you like live so much for the people in high school, but then you graduate and just 2 years later, 3 years later, you realize, man, all these people I was living to impress and to live up to their standards, they're not even like in my life anymore. I didn't know that would happen again in college. And I just decided, yeah, what if I just lived for what would actually matter 30 years from now, 40 years from now? And I think God pricked my heart, and it reminded me of our text today, and he pricked my heart to think, you're thinking too short. 40 years is not that far away. He's like, you should think 10,000 years from now. And not just from now, 10,000 years into heaven. And I would encourage you guys to think about, what are you so focused on today? What seems like it's dire right now? And then my practice actually is the thing that you're like really struggling with, really mad about, even today. Like, I don't know what it is. Satan, even maybe this morning, I don't know about you, but Sunday mornings are pretty chaotic. Even when I was growing up, it's like the enemy is like going after the heart and the mind of his children. Of God's children. And I would just encourage you, is the thing that's so stressing you today, will it be almost kind of laughable in 5 years from now? Will it be like, no, God's got this. Like God is good. And what if we focus on what matters 10,000 years into heaven? Because that sounds so long, like 10,000 years into heaven is so far away. But in reality, 10,000 years, when in comparison to eternity, is like a fraction. It's such a fraction.